Hi, it's the bone, your caller 1. Hi, it's the bone, your caller 2. Hi, it's the bone, your caller 3. Hi, it's the bone, your caller 4. Hi, it's the bone, your caller 5. Hi, it's the bone, your caller 6. Hi, it's the bone, your caller 7. Hi, it's the bone, your caller 8. Hi, it's the bone, your caller 9. Sorry, dude.
No. Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, wow. Caller 10 just hung up. Hi, Chew. How you doing? Now I have to pick a random caller 10. Who wants to pick a number between 1 and 10? Chew? How about number 7? Hi, it's the bone. Who's this?
This is Jake.
What's your name again?
Jake.
Jake, how are you doing today, man?
Pretty good.
Jake, have you won anything from the bone in the last 30 days?
I have never even gotten through to the bone, ever.
What? Come on now.
I'm serious.
Have you been trying?
I've been listening to y'all since even before 1077.
Wow.
Never won anything, never even gotten through.
What's your last name, Jake?
Jacobson.
Gacobsen or On?
Owen.
Okay, congratulations, Jake. You are caller 10. I got a pair of tickets for you to see Meshuggah, Cannibal Corpse, and Carcass at the Masonic in San Francisco.
Awesome.
I just got to get some information from you. What is your email address? Okay, congratulations, Jake. Like I said, you have won a pair of tickets to see Meshuggah at the Masonic. We are going to email those tickets to you. So keep an eye on your email address and your spam filter. Make sure you get that email from us. As soon as you see it, we need you to open the email, click the link inside, and accept the tickets, and then they'll be delivered electronically.
Awesome.
Right on, Jake. Congratulations, man.
Cool. Thank you.
You got it. Happy holidays, man.
Awesome. You too.
Thanks.
Y'all.
Cheers, Jake. I'll see you at the show. All right. I tried to get in there just to catch you with so you could catch the contest, but I don't know. Caller 9 was a little bit boring. Let's see. What thing was I going to tell you about today that I've already forgotten? Story of my life, right? I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. What do you got going on? Whatever it is, nothing is triggering my memory. Oh, hang on a second. I got a message I got to reply to. Jim, but his name was Jake. Hey, Rodney, how's it going? Um, Hey, Dan, you have returned? What have you returned? I've been returning stuff like crazy pants because I basically did all my Christmas shopping on Black Friday, and apparently online retailers have gotten really efficient. So on a couple of times when I bought stuff, they had already shipped it when I was like, oh, wait, this is the wrong thing. I need to switch this. And I call, and it's been like not even an hour. And I'm all, hey, I accidentally ordered the wrong pair of shoes for my nephew. I got a pair of shoes that look exactly like the shoes I got him, like, I don't know, a year or two ago. So, yeah, I need to return. I need to cancel that order and place this new order. And they were like, yeah, no, we don't do that. And they were like, and we can't exchange them either. You're just going to have to wait for us to ship that shit to you, and then you have to return it. And I was like, you realize that you guys are paying for all this shipping, right? And they were like, yeah, but it's how we're doing it now. It seems weird. Rodney, you start a new job in the morning? Bitchin'. Hey, Justine. Oh, I know he means he just hasn't been around. I'm being facetious. But then I was returning this other stuff that I got for my nephew, for my other nephew. Hey, John, can I play Turn Up the Radio? I might be able to. Let me have a look-see. I love that autograph song. That's one of the songs I remember from the very first few broadcasts that we did when we flipped to 107.7 The Bone in 2000 and 2000. And I remember being like, what? We're playing this? Hell yeah. Because I remember being a kid when Turn Up the Radio by Autograph was on MTV. And that video was amazing. Sign in, please. It was all robots and stuff, and then live show. And then life has a funny way of working out. Who would have thunk that 25 years later I would be like friends with Autograph because they've been on the Monsters of Rock cruise so many times. And I never thought I'd get to see them, right? But here we are. Hey, Mindbender dude who wants me to drive to Fresno. This is how you can tell you're new here, because anybody who's been here for a minute would never even pretend to try to ask me to drive to Fresno. Where's PJ to confirm that shit? You still have to shop, John? Oh my gosh. Who still has to shop? Who's got shopping to do? Hey, Brett, how's it going? See, Dan knew I was joking. Right? Like, come on. I won't drive to San Jose. What makes you think I'm going to Fresno? I would rather fly to Vegas than drive to Sac. Like, that's how much I hate traffic in the Bay, dealing with any of that shit. I also hate just like being stuck in a chair. Like, normally I sit in this chair to talk to you guys because otherwise I'm up here, and you guys are looking up my nose. But it even bugs me to be like sitting down the whole time while I'm talking to you guys. I can't even imagine sitting in a car driving all that way. And I especially wouldn't want to be sitting in the passenger seat and not driving all that way, because I probably would get sick or I'd need to sleep. The only way I can stand long distances is if I can go completely horizontal. Like if there's a sleeper car to Fresno, we could talk. But also it would still be Fresno when I got there. So I don't know. Yeah. It's not that bad. That should be the fucking billboard outside of Fresno. Fresno, it's not that bad. I think the last time I had to go to Fresno was quite literally the mid-90s when I was working for Bass Tickets. And that was, the last time I was in Fresno, mid-90s. Done. Never again. I feel the same about Bakersfield and Modesto and Stockton and, a lot of places, really. Reading, Chico. It's not just you, man. Grass Valley. Yeah. Jim, you just got to go get some alcohol. You always get your grandma a bottle of champagne. Aw, and grandpa gets a bottle of booze. That's sweet. If my grandparents were still alive, I would get them booze too. What did I give my grandparents? Well, my dad's mom, I always got like clothes for because she is where I get my love and weird obsession with too many clothes from. God, my granddad. I think we just got him like C's candy or something. Oh, peanut brittle. Granddad was peanut brittle. Yep. And then, well, my mom's parents, we never saw them at Christmas. They lived in Phoenix. So we just like shipped stuff. I don't even know what it was. My mom took care of that. Yeah. And then they all died. So, you know, we don't get them anything now. Yeah, sorry, Dan. I'm never coming up to Chico. I don't know how you live there. I mean, good on you. Nothing against it. Just, it ain't for me, bro. Hey, Kevin. Welcome back. Feel free to help me explain to the crowd why I don't drive, or just that I don't. I can't stand it. It's too far. And you know what's funny is I used to have a job at Bass Tickets in the 90s where I drove all over the Bay Area. It was my job every day to like drive to all the record stores. But once all the record stores closed, hey, Miguel, then I didn't care anymore. And I didn't want to drive. I used to, oh my God, dude. I used to drive from Vacaville to San Francisco like 2, sometimes 3 times a week just to go clubbing. But that was in my 20s. Now I'm old. I'm in my 50s now, man. I ain't doing that shit. I'm good now. This is why I did everything before, right? People stayed home in their 20s. Why? Go out. Go out while you can. Kevin, you drink hot damn? Why? Why not just get a cheaper whiskey and a packet of Red Hots? That's all it is. It's just cinnamon whiskey. It's like, it's the cheapest, crappiest. I mean, and I'm talking about hot damn and Fireball and like literally every flavored whiskey. Every flavored whiskey is just cheap whiskey with flavor added. It's like a latte. It's like going to Starbucks. You know the reason Starbucks has so many flavors? Because their coffee is garbage. Have you ever tried to drink Starbucks coffee black? It's terrible. There's a taqueria across the street from my house that has better black coffee than Starbucks. Like, that's how bad it is. But that's why Starbucks has everything all flavored and fancy, because it has to be, because their coffee's not that good. And it's the same with every flavored whiskey, every single one. It means you don't like whiskey, so don't drink whiskey. Basically, what you want is vodka. Yeah, Justine, the hidden fees. You know what, though? I hate to burst your bubble, Justine, but the hidden fees for tickets that are going to be banned is it's not really a thing. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Ticketmaster has been doing all-in pricing, and that's the same thing. You're still paying the same amount of money you would pay for the ticket. They're just not allowed to advertise the ticket at one price and then add fees to make it another price, which is what they used to do. But now it's all in tickets every single time. Ticketmaster knew this was coming, so they kind of like made it look like it was their idea to get rid of it. Hey, you know what? You guys said you liked all in pricing. We're going to do all in pricing now all the time. You're welcome. And then BT dubs, now it's the law. Hot damn with a water chaser. Kevin, I have no respect for your drinking choices. Like, what the hell? Mindbender, you want to know how I like the new Marilyn album? Are you talking about Marilyn Manson? Because I feel like he's a rapist and we should probably cancel him. Yeah, no, commenting on Manson is problematic these days. I definitely think that he did that shit. And I believe that in part because I have worked with him on multiple occasions, and I have borne witness to things. I've been there when he was with Dita, and I've been there when he was with Evan Rachel Wood, and I'm not pretending that I was any sort of like super insider on either relationship or situation, but I did see things. I did see things backstage that made everything plausible. And then Evan Rachel Wood and I have a mutual friend whom I trust implicitly, who trusts Evan implicitly. So I feel pretty confident that he A, probably did that shit, and B, if he didn't, he did some fucked up shit either way. And I don't really need to like him anymore. And I feel like there's just not a place in my life for Marilyn Manson because he probably did that shit. Peace out. Oh yeah, Justine, I'm drinking. You know what? This is funny. So my whole life growing up, I was a tea drinker. Anyone who knew me before, I don't know, 30? If you knew me before I turned 30, I was strictly a tea drinker. And this was my favorite tea ever. I don't know if you can see it on the label. Oh, it's upside down. So it was this Bigelow Raspberry Royale tea. It's a raspberry flavored black tea. And it was like my favorite thing ever. And I think my mom got it for me once. And then next thing you know, speaking of Christmas presents, it was in the stocking. It was under the tree. It was just a constant in my life. And then every boyfriend bought it for me. My ex-husband got it for me. And then like right around the time I hit 30, I started needing the coffee. I started needing something strong. And so basically I started with, coffee flavored milk, and I have since worked my way up into being a bougie bitch who needs a really good coffee to get going. But I can drink it black, but it has to be good coffee. And I French press it now because I'm obsessed. But today, lately, just like since it got hot, I've been really craving like English breakfast tea and black teas. And so I was drinking some at home, and I thought, I don't have time to make another French press before I go to work, and I have already killed the first one. So I'll just bring my mug because we have free tea in the break room. And I have been looking at this for weeks now and going, I remember I used to love this tea. And at one point we couldn't find it. And I had to like black market this raspberry Royale tea because I don't know if it was discontinued or what happened, but we just couldn't get it for a while. Anywho, so I was all excited to try it today. And now I'm like, it's not that good. My palate has changed completely. But I still ate junk food back then, like before I was 30, I would eat, well, I probably wouldn't eat McDonald's. I don't think I ate McDonald's past 25, but I'd eat like Burger King or something or whatever. I would eat fast food. I think I switched to Taco Bell, like probably in the 90s, Taco Bell, maybe a Jack in the Box. And then in the early aughts, at some point in the very early turn of the century, I quit doing fast food entirely. And then by like 05, 06, somewhere in there, I think I quit doing sodas. I switched from regular soda to diet soda around the turn of the century, and then realized that diet soda was also going to kill you. So I gave that up too. Anywho, you know what else is funny? I never drank water growing up, like until I was probably like 25. I hated seltzer water. We went to Germany when I was like 19. We went to France and Germany and Belgium. And I hated water and I hated beer. I didn't hate beer, but like the beer that they were pouring back then was just like a really thick, slow pouring kind of, I don't know what the hell it was. But it was just very weedy and it had like a lot of bits in it. And it was a whole thing to order. At any point, I didn't like carbonated beverages. So I didn't like soda at all. I didn't like a beer and I didn't like water. And that was everything. I drank milk or I drank nothing. And I ordered milk once in Germany and oh, wow, that was a mistake. They looked at me like I was crazy. And then they brought me something that was not a milk product. I don't know what it was. My dad laughed. My dad was like, because he lived in Germany for years. And he was like, so Yeah, he asked him what it was, and then they explained it to him in German. And then he told me, well, they said it's like a shelf-stable milk. And I was like, the fuck is a shelf-stable milk, dude? And he's all, you ordered it. And I was like, well, fuck me. So then I ordered tea everywhere I went because ew. And if I ordered water, they thought I needed to take a pill. If I wanted water, no bubbles, water without gas, yeah, they also still thought I was crazy and they thought I was sick and I needed to take like a vitamin or something. So yeah. And then somewhere along the lines, I just started drinking soda again because I needed more caffeine in my life. And the tea wasn't cutting it. And then I swapped the soda for the coffee. And then all the studies came out saying that was better for you anyway. So, woo, yay me. I was a little bit ahead of that. Kevin, your grandpa drank Seagram's gin like straight? Old school. Have you ever watched those old black and white movies? Like, oh God, not Lauren Bacall, who am I thinking of? Katharine Hepburn. Katharine Hepburn would like walk into a room and be like, gin, make it a double. And you'd watch the guy pour like half a glass of straight gin with no ice, no nothing. And you're like, what the hell? And everybody's just sitting there drinking it like that's normal. And I'm like, so gross. Oops, I missed a call. Like, Chico's is not really a party school. I mean, it used to be. Maybe they're just not any good at it anymore. Why have a car when we have BART or bus? Oh, Kevin. I loathe the bus. Also, I need to be way too many places, way too much to have the time to take public transportation. Hi, it's the bone.
Hi. Did I win?
Oh gosh, no. That was like 20 minutes ago, dude. You were still calling for those tickets?
Yeah.
Aw, no. Give it like
On the radio.
Give it like 5 minutes. Call like crazy for like 5 minutes. And then, if you haven't gotten through, definitely hang it up after that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
sorry.
you.
But we'll be doing it again tomorrow.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Good luck.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Aw, poor thing. Hang on a second. I need to write this down. Okay. 12. All right. Also, I spent like, 25 years in the concert industry. And a lot of that time was working as a runner, which meant that I was the person who drove. Sometimes I'd drive artists, sometimes I'd run errands, but I always had to have my car. And I was always the person driving and running errands and driving and parking all over the city, from into the venue, out of the venue. And so I have a weird skill of getting around San Francisco and being able to park in the city. And so if I can't drive there, I usually don't go. 50's your ass. Oh yeah, I'm 52. I'm going to have to start telling myself I'm 53 because I need to get used to it before next year. Thank you, Mike. Never drink cheap booze. It's a waste of time. Justine, black coffee does not suck. It just means your coffee sucks. Or you haven't you can train your palate to enjoy a coffee without the sugar and the half and half. I mean, like I said, I started out with like coffee flavored milk and then just slowly started adjusting my way out and getting better coffee. And now I have really good coffee and I drink it black and it's delightful. Also, it's got a lot of oomph. 7-Eleven has decent coffee. Well, yeah, 7-Eleven has Punk Bunny coffee now. And that Punk Bunny coffee is actually really good. I tried it when it came out and I was like, I'm impressed. In fact, the Punk Bunny coffee is just about as good as the coffee I get from Kaladi Brothers in Alaska, but Kaladi Brothers has better sales. So, as much as I love Green Day and as much as I think their coffee is good, Kevin, OJ and vodka or lemonade and vodka on ice. That's called a screwdriver and a lemon drop. You and Lamont could drink together. Lamont loves lemon drops. Justine, you can bask in the news. I'm sorry. I did not mean to burst your bubble about Ticketmaster, but I mean, the good news is that here's the thing, right? The concert ticket's going to cost what the concert ticket costs. The resort fees now are going to have to be included in the advertising, which is nice because when you're booking a hotel, a lot of the times they're throwing these crazy low numbers at you. And then you show up and there's like a $40 a day resort fee on top of this low room price that they were giving you. And you're like, really, you guys? And then they throw other fees on top of that. And you're like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, please stop. So, hi, Sherry. You haven't heard about Manson since he was with Rose McGowan? That was like 30 years ago, dude. Google Marilyn Manson rape accusations or Evan Rachel Wood did a whole documentary film on it, dude. Check it out. Peppermint tea is your tea of choice. Oh, Dan. That's a lot. That's like drinking tea and brushing your teeth at the same time. Justine, you like Harney and Sons tea spiced cinnamon? That sounds nice. Brandon, you'd rather have Adderall? I have actually never done Adderall. I have no idea what that's like. But, I did a lot of speed in the 80s. So I figure I kind of have like an idea. I don't know. I never got into prescription drugs. I mean, I'm not that I never got into prescription drugs. I mean, I've definitely had prescription drugs. But sometimes I went through a phase where I was like, these are great. And then, like I said the other day, I actually took some Vicodin for my actual back pain, and then it made me sick all day. So I think my body has just told me that that's enough opioids for you. Dan, you want hot toddies? I am 100% behind the hot toddy. Hot toddies are amazing, especially if you've got if you put a bunch of shit in it, you've got the anise star and the cinnamon stick and the lemon wedge or slice and cloves punched into the lemon wedge and oh yeah. If I would make like a giant hot toddy and drink it forever. And it really works. I remember one time I was sick and I went across the street from I think Lamb of God and Testament were playing at the Fox Theater. And Alex Skolnick was in town and he was across the street at a bar. And I went over there to say goodnight to him before he hopped on the bus to head out of town. So I ducked out of the show because I had passes so I could just go back in. And I ducked out of the show and went across the street and they asked me if I wanted to drink. And I was like, no, I'm kind of fighting a cold. This was pre-COVID. So people weren't like, ah. And I was like, I got a cold and I don't feel good. I'm probably heading home early. I just want to come over and say, hey, and talk to Alex before he left. And he's like, you should get a hot toddy. And I was like, I don't think those things really work. And he was like, just try it. And the bartender made like a proper hot toddy, which apparently I had never, ever had before because everything I had before that hot toddy was garbage. And that one was like amazing. And I ended up staying, I missed most of Lamb of God because I was there just drinking this guy's hot toddies. I was like, and another one. I had two, I think, because I still had to drive home. And then I felt fucking great. And then I went back in and watched the last of Lamb of God and hung out for a while and then drove home. And I didn't leave early because I was feeling good. Hot toddies are the bomb, dude. Tea tastes different because of my coffee drinking now. Well, I would say that, except that I still drink tea. I still drink tea now. This is the first time I've had that flavored tea that I used to like a lot. So I don't think that's the case. And I drink, I still drink coffee. I have a dozen teas at home. I do still drink tea. I just don't do it at work, really. Yeah, Brandon, Trump drinks a bajillion Diet Cokes a day, and that is insane because he is insane. I'm really shocked that he's still upright, but it's hard. You can't kill evil, right? I mean, even Mitch McConnell's still alive. and somehow still serving in Congress. I mean, not serving, but I don't think he's definitely not out of office, right? Is he still like, he hasn't been replaced? Fucking weird. Justine, your 3 favorite places are McDonald's, Burger King, and Taco Bell. Oh, Justine. It's terrible. Hang on a second, guys. $107.7 The Bone in Europe with the final countdown. I'm Nikki Blakk, and Green Day are going to release an audiophile version of Dookie, which I think is kind of an oxymoron, because why would you need an audiophile version of a punk rock album? But here we are. It's going to be a limited edition, 3,000 copies spread across 4 album sides. It's going to play at 45 RPM instead of the usual 33. And it's been mastered from the original tapes. It doesn't come out until January 24th, though, so it's not going under the tree. Okay, where were we? There. Should doobie. And he says he doesn't do drugs. Caffeine is a drug. Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but Gene Simmons won't say he's never done drugs or never drunk alcohol. He'll say he's never been drunk. Like, whatever, you guys. You're old men. I'm so done with you. Please, both of you, go away. Like, I would like to live a sphere of existence where neither one of them is relevant. Because neither one of them is relevant. I mean, when you say I don't do drugs, you're already like producing a judgment, right? It's a pejorative term to say doing drugs. But every single one of these assholes is on Lipitor or some other shit, right? So everyone's doing drugs. It's really hard not to do drugs, you know? Everybody's on something now, which is crazy. Justine, you love seltzer water? Me too. Out of nowhere, I suddenly became like seltzer fanatical, and I love it now. I even bought one of those SodaStream machines. That's what it was called, SodaStream. I had one of the early versions, and I used it until it kind of like stopped working right. I should have got another one. I don't know why I didn't. I think I just switched to buying cans. Yeah, Hobson, I was obsessed with milk. I still love milk, but I mean, as a child, my parents had to ration us for milk because we were each drinking like an 8-ounce glass of milk at every meal. Every meal. And there were 4 of us. So, and we couldn't fit 2 gallons of milk in the fridge. We could only fit 1 gallon of milk in the fridge at a time. So my parents, that was their like exercise routine. At the end of the night, they'd walk down to the grocery store and buy a gallon of milk and then walk back and pop it in the fridge for the morning because we'd be drinking it all. Kevin, you don't like the taste of, but Rob on Machine Head's Happy Hour was drinking a beer with chocolate hazelnut flavor. Was it a beer with chocolate hazelnut flavor or a beer with chocolate hazelnut notes? Because that's 2 different things. Like, I like a good stout because it'll have notes of chocolate or hazelnut or something like that. It's funny. When I was going to the venue last weekend, there was like a problem at the box office, and I was waiting for my guest list to get sorted. So we went next door where there was a brewery, and the brewery guy, you could tell, like when I walked in, he was like, chicks. Because I was like, I don't like beer. I don't want your beer. And for a brewery that just served beer, they only had like a dozen options. And I was like, dude, the Depot in Concord was a better brewery than this. But then it turned out that they had a what he called a seltzer, which tasted basically like a sparkling lemonade, but they made it somehow. I don't know. It was weird. Hi, Justin. It is almost Christmas. Jacob, your parents lived in Germany. Cool. I wonder if your brother can get a German passport. An EU passport is a valuable thing right now. Yes, Justin, 2025 New Year's is coming. Kevin, my Christmas plans are to go to Vegas. You're drinking it straight out of the pint bottle and then chasing it with water? That sounds unpleasant. Like no part of that sounds like a culinary experience. All of that sounds like you're punishing yourself with bad flavor. Hi, Jason. Yes, Dan, all public transportation smells like feet or worse. Hey, Jimmy, how's it going? I was just talking to somebody about you. Who was it? I think it was Kehoe. Yeah, I ran into Kehoe at Death Angel last week. I think it was him that I was talking to about you. Maybe it was somebody else. Well, between Exodus and Death Angel playing in the last couple of weeks, I think I've run into everyone. Jason, you went to Chico and the town was definitely a party town when you were there. Yeah, I don't know what it's like now either because I won't go. I don't know what it was like then because I wouldn't go to Chico then either. I think I've been to Chico like once ever. Because why? Why would I go to Chico to party? I can party here. I live in the Bay. We got a lot of shit. Mike, what do you mean the Grinch got you yesterday? You missed the caller 9 already. But caller 9 was kind of boring today. To be honest. No one called me a Grinch. It was a girl. She was very nice. And she said, oh, thanks. Happy holidays anyway, kind of thing. No, Justin, I'm not going to play double shot songs back to back. Kevin, didn't I come into Oakland Harley picking up something for our Guns N' Roses crew? Maybe. It's plausible. I don't know. If you can imagine how many things I've picked up for how many bands, I would need something more for it to stick out than that. I remember dropping off some of the New Kids on the Block crew people at the Oakland Harley rental place. And I remember that because these guys made a fortune and they worked like 2 days in a week. So these guys worked specifically on the fly rig. That was their whole thing. It was a whole bus full of people. It was like, I think it was like an 8 or 10 person crew. And all they did was set up the fly rig, test it, make sure it was working. And apparently it was one of the first things that went in. And then they had the rest of the week off. So they set up that fly rig and then I dropped them off at the Harley rental place in Oakland by the airport. And they all rented Harleys and took off for 4 days and then came back when it was time to take the fly rig down. And I was like, wow. Black coffee with coconut oil? Why? I don't understand. Like, are people like, here's the thing, right? Coconut oil is a good fat. Fair. But also, if you're eating a balanced diet, you're probably cooking your own food. And if you're cooking, you're using good fats. So you don't need additional good fat because there is still such a thing as too much fat. And I don't understand if the coconut oil is giving you some kind of flavoring that you think is good. But it's adding like an oily sheen to your coffee, isn't it? Like, I don't understand that. That just seems like a weird fad to me. Butter coffee and oil coffee and what do they call it? Bullet coffee or something when you put the coconut oil in it? Seems like a dumb fad to me. Sorry. Nothing personal. Maybe you just like the way it tastes, but still other than for breakfast. Brian, what do you mean milk? I don't drink as much milk as I used to, but I think that's just because I have to drink more water. I'm always I'm always dehydrated, and now I need more water. And the milk has more calories, right? Like every cup of milk is like 100 calories. So now I'm at a point in life where I have to be calorie conscious. Otherwise, I would. Dan, you're going to settle for peppermint mochas. Peppermint's just not my favorite flavor. It's very overpowering. But peppermint with a chocolate thing, like a coffee, like a chocolatey noted coffee, is not the end of the world. I still prefer my coffee black, though. Oh, Rodney, all the coffee was black in the Army because, ooh, where did the cream come from? Talk about shelf stable. Brandon, I don't know what you mean by heart-shaped glasses. Did I show a photo or something of heart-shaped glasses? I don't remember. Inspector Gadget. Okay. Is Trump going to save TikTok or will it be banned in the US? No on both counts. Okay. Trump's not going to save TikTok because TikTok's not really in danger. And you can't executive order TikTok one way or the other. What's going to happen is we're going to find out with the Supreme Court. TikTok's going before the Supreme Court, what, tomorrow? I just know the Supreme Court's agreed to hear them. Let's see. But the action against, where is it? No, I don't need a rental car. Oh, this was fun. Did you see where Musk and SpaceX are facing reviews after security violations? Loose lips sink ships, guys. Oh God, where was it? Let's see. SCOTUS, TikTok. So the Supreme Court agreed to hear the challenge to the TikTok ban. The law is set to go into effect January 19th. So that was a law. It was passed by Congress. It's not an executive order passed by the president. If it was, then Trump could save it because then he could just write a new executive order. But Trump can't change law. And he can't retroactively veto a law that's already passed. See, here's the problem I have, and this is where I think there's a decent case for the Supreme Court, is that the law is requiring TikTok to be sold. It's requiring their Chinese owner to sell the platform to an American company or be banned. And I think that that's at odds with just basic capitalism, right? Like, if we force China to sell TikTok because of national security, how many other foreign companies will be forced to sell because of national security? Like, tech is global. There are tech companies from all over the world operating here in the US with other platforms and other things. They're just not as popular as TikTok. So does this mean we're going to go after all of them, or how do we expect that to work? I mean, it's not like the De Beers diamond monopoly. It's complicated. But our antitrust legislation does require a third party for so that we don't allow monopolies. So I could see it being legal under that premise, right? Like, because the De Beers family owns all the diamonds in the world. They own all the diamond mines. They have everything. And they are the ones responsible for dissemination of diamonds worldwide. In the US, we don't allow that kind of monopoly. So we require them to sell to other people first, who then distribute the diamonds to the US through multiple outlets. So in that respect, I could see where we might require TikTok to have some kind of middleman. But I don't think we can legally force the Chinese company to divest TikTok entirely. It's complicated. "1077 The Bone" with George Thorogood, and he wants to know, who do you love? I'm Nikki Blakk, and I'm pretty sure you're going to love 1077 The Bone if you win these tickets to see Styx with Kevin Cronin from REO Speedwagon and Don Felder from the Eagles on June 13th at the Toyota Pavilion in Concord. Those tickets are on sale now at livenation.com, but you've got 3 chances a day to win them here on 1077 The Bone. That is in the 8 a.m. hour, the 11 a.m. hour, and the 3 p.m. hour. Be listening for that cue to call and be caller 10 to win those tickets. Brandon, Lamb of God shows are terrifying in the pit. Guys go ape shit. I fear no pit, but then I was kicked in the face at Exodus being outside the pit. So, hi, Alan. For real, Sherry. A lot of things are old wives' tales, but not those hot toddies, man. They are legit. Am I going to Dublin on Saturday night? I don't know, Alan. I don't know. I think somebody would have to call me and say, hey, we've got a spot for you, because I don't have a ticket. And so far, nobody has called me to say, hey, we've got a spot for you. So, Rodney, you read that Trump had a button in the Oval Office to get Diet Cokes. Well, it would not surprise me if there were not buttons in the office for the president to request whatever the president happens to need at that time. And it would also not surprise me if the only thing Trump ever needed was a Diet Coke, because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Rodney, you drink Smooth Move tea? Good on ya. Traditional Medicinals is a great tea company. I have a lot of their products, especially their throat coat. Throat coat is a staple in the industry, concerts and radio. Yeah, Dan, this is the one time I am thrilled that we have term limits. I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, look at somebody like Angela Merkel, who like slayed in Germany for 20 years as chancellor. So that's the thing. If we could get somebody like her, or even if we could have done a 3rd term of Obama, he wasn't my favorite, but he was a solid compromise, But then here we are with legions of stupid people voting for somebody like Trump. And then even after he got kicked out of office, they voted him in again. Like, wow. So much wow. Oh, the gas and groceries people that don't understand how gas and grocery prices are set. Anyway, yeah, Dan, I agree. Sherry, your 80-year-old neighbor said Vicodin only works with a beer or a shot. Okay, so they work without. I'll just say that. They do work without adding alcohol. And the combination of alcohol with an opioid, the problem there is that you're taking a downer and then you're adding an X factor downer on top of it. So it's the same reason people have trouble with Valium, right? They don't know how much. If you drink with Valium, the Valium is a depressant and a downer. Barbiturates, like anything that's a depressant or a downer, is already kind of depressing your systems. And then you take alcohol, which does that, but with an X factor of we don't know how much, right? Like your pills, your Vicodin pills are measured to a specific milligram, but your alcohol is not. And then the two of them together interact, and it doesn't necessarily equate like an A plus B equals C dosage. It could be like an A plus B equals X dosage. And you could take it a million times and be just fine. And then you could take it one time and wake up dead. And I have known people that has happened to. A lot, in fact. It's pretty common. It's a common practice in the service industry. Have I ever had a stout float? I have. It's called the Shaken Jessie, and they serve it. They served it. Oh, they closed all the. Did they? Wait, no, wait. I think they still have one. Rudy's Can't Fail Cafe, don't they? The Green Day guys. Is Rudy's Can't Fail Cafe still open in Emeryville? Because that's where I got it, the Shaken Jessie, and it was bomb. And it's basically a stout shake. They had a boozy version of it at the Rudy's Can't Fail Cafe that used to be next door to the Fox Theater, but that's closed. Oh, and there's a boozy version. It's basically a bourbon float at a Brooklyn Bowl in Vegas that is delightful. Jacob, how do I feel about Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi's slip and fall? She's an old lady who slipped and fell. How do I feel about it? How do you feel about an old lady slipping and falling and then needing a hip replacement and getting one? I'm glad that she can afford that level of medical care, but I think she was overseas when it happened. So even if she couldn't afford that level of medical care, she would have still received it. You're not a supporter of Nancy Pelosi? Why not? She's a badass. Do you know what that woman probably had to go through just to get into fucking Congress, much less to stay there and then hold the power positions that she did? I don't know if you've noticed, but there's been a massive, massive smear campaign against Nancy Pelosi for over a decade now. That means they were scared of her. Just like Clinton. Rodney, you'll be in Vegas for Christmas too? Oh, because you live there. I don't have time to go to a casino. I'm basically just going to visit friends, pop in, have Christmas, and then come back to work. I'm not missing any days of work. So, a fly rig, Justine, is it's like a trapeze rig that goes from one end of the stadium to the stage, and they fly the band out on it and then fly them back to the stage. Sometimes they'll fly them out to what they call a B stage, which would be like a secondary stage in the crowd. And I think that New Kids on the Block had a fly rig that went to the secondary stage, but I'm not sure. Pink famously does a big trapeze rig at all her concerts now. I think Lady Gaga had one. Kevin, you were working in parts at the Oakland Harley Davidson. You just missed me. Oh, sorry. I sounds super plausible that it probably happened. Hey, Antonio. You're clocking out in Bluffdale, Texas. I have no idea where that is. I hear Texas is big. Are you on the Panhandle side, or are you like in the Austin area, or are you like West Texas, Gulf? I don't know. I drove through Texas once and I made sure I didn't stop. I'm kidding. I did stop to like eat and pee and then kept going. I made it from Shreveport. Yeah, I made it from Shreveport, Louisiana to Las Cruces, New Mexico in a day because I did not want to stop in Texas. Because I had a boyfriend who got stopped in Texas once and got hassled. Because apparently you guys are not fond of Californians for the most part. Hang on a second. It's the Bay Area's own Journey on the Rock of the Bay. I'm Nikki Blakk, and not only does Steve Perry have new Christmas music out, he has released season 3 of the Steve Perry Yule log, which is kind of what I need for the holidays, actually. I don't even want to watch TV anymore. I just want to watch Steve Perry's Yule log. You can link to it. We got it posted up for you on the Bone socials and at 1077thebone.com. Lobe to be what? Where you been, dude? How's it going? Brandon, you're worried about mass deportation? Why? It's logistically impossible. I mean, look at how hard it was for him just to keep people from coming into the country because all his early policies were so racist that they didn't survive the courts. It took him years to write a policy that was not racist enough for the courts to allow it. Do you really think that this plebe is going to somehow come up with like a, and forgive me for invoking, what's the word for it when you go to Hitler? It's not Occam's razor. It's the, anyway, apologies for evoking Hitler, but there's no way Trump is going to have Hitler-like efficiency in deporting people from the U.S. If he's shown one thing, it's the level of ineptness that there's no way he's going to be able to even transport people outside the country. Where's he going to put them? Who's going to let him bring people? How much is that going to cost, right? I mean, what is he going to do? Just start lining them up at 747s? Where's he going to get the 747s? You can't just transport people in military planes. Like, there's just the whole, it's not happening. It will be terrifying to watch how far they get, though. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you.
We're halfway there.
Yeah.
Halfway to the weekend. Oh, well, Brandon, Citizens United and a monopoly are two different things. A monopoly is actually very difficult to achieve anymore because we have so many corporations, and all these corporations are so prevalent, but also very diversified. Like, look at Ticketmaster, right? Ticketmaster owns the vast majority of ticketing contracts at venues nationwide. However, not enough to be considered a monopoly because they still have an awful lot of competition when you start looking at all the actual venues nationwide, right? We're just looking at, like, if we're looking at stadiums, there's a lot of stadiums that don't use Ticketmaster. They use a completely different system that is actually where Bass tickets ended up going to MLB.com, right? We have AXS, right, which was created when Ticketmaster merged with Live Nation to prevent the monopoly. So Access has, so that Golden Voice AEG was given access to Ticketmaster's software so that they could build their own ticketing company, but still be using the Ticketmaster software. So when you say monopoly, but then you say Citizens United, I don't think you're talking about what you think you're talking about. Citizens United was the judgment that allowed companies to donate as people. So companies can make political donations as though they were people, which means companies can now influence Congress as though they were constituents, even though they're not constituents, they're not people, they're not humans. And when PG&E kills someone, no one goes to jail for it. But when I kill someone, I'm going to jail, right? Luigi Mangione is going to jail because he killed a healthcare CEO. But that healthcare CEO is probably responsible for hundreds, maybe thousands of deaths, and he ain't going to jail ever. So that's the problem with Citizens United, because United Healthcare can make all the political donations to all of the lobbyists that they, all of the representatives that they want to influence those representatives to pass laws in their favor. How could a person like me ever compete with that ability? Right? How am I ever going to raise enough money to lobby a politician in the same manner that United Healthcare can lobby a politician? Because they're a corporation with billions of dollars and I'm me. So that's the problem with Citizens United. Yeah, dude, throat coat is the bomb. Throat coat with lemon, ginger, honey. Put them all together. It's like you'll be bulletproof. Well, Brandon, we all wanted a lot of people to be a lot of things, and we're all just going to have to sit back and watch Rome burn. Learn how to play the fiddle. Jacob, she's been holding on to the $50 bill for too long. I am not sure what you mean there, but okay. Ah, crap. How did that happen? Oh. Okay, hold on. I got to do a thing here. Oh, I hate when that happens. For some reason, I lost 2 minutes. Anyway. Justine, you love the new kids? Okay. Antonio, you're from CA? I appreciate you, dude. I'm not saying you either. I'm just saying in general, right? I'm sure you get it. If you moved there, they're like, where are you from? Do you lie? Do you lie about where you're from? Whenever I'm in the South, I will tell people I'm from San Francisco, but then I'll be like, but I have family here. That usually works. And then I'm pretty good at throwing an accent. Yeah, Jim, Brooklyn Bowl is awesome. You just never think of a concert venue as being a cool place to eat, but the Brooklyn Bowl, solid. Shut up, John from Carmel. What's up? How my Millers out there doing? How my Kratzers? Have you found any? The Kratzers are all mine. Not all the Millers, though. Brandon, yeah, but if you can use endless millions of money to buy politicians off, how can you not prevent some kind of a monopoly? Because the monopoly laws predate. The monopoly laws are on the books. So they would have to basically repeal a huge amount of like century-old law. How old is our antitrust laws? Let's see. How old are our antitrust laws? U.S. antitrust legislation. Derp. So yeah, the Sherman Antitrust Act. Oh, come on. You're not going to tell me when they were passed? God damn it. Hold on. Google is really shitty lately. Have you noticed that? All right, let's see. History. Yeah, so we started passing these the Sherman Act was passed in 1890. And we've since built on it multiple times and affirmed it like endlessly. So it would be really hard, not impossible, but really hard for them to repeal it. No matter how much money they have. Like, you can have all the money in the world, but that would be political suicide to suddenly be pro-monopoly, you know? Dan is craving Olive Garden, ladies and gentlemen. Dan, Olive Garden is gross. Go look at, just Google Saturday Night Live and Olive Garden and just watch every skit. No one should eat there. Olive Garden, where we pretend to be Italian. Well, Brandon, the bookstores, I mean, there are still bookstores. Green Apple Books is here. Barnes and Noble still exists, although they've really been kind of beaten. But Amazon is a conglomerate, right? And as long as bookstores and book distributors still exist, Amazon's technically not a monopoly. I don't know. Hi, Todd. I'm running out of time. I don't know if we can get super deep into why repealing the monopoly laws aren't like a top concern. Oh, I got to do that tomorrow. Hi, Davey. Mark, time for a smarter phone? Why? I don't know what you're saying, Mark. But Dan and Justine are going to talk about Olive Garden now, and I'm going to GTFO because I'm off work. Oh my God, anything is better than Olive Garden. Trust me, folks. Making Italian food is not that hard. Have you not seen me do it on the internet? Once you learn how to cook, you're going to be so mortified that you ever ate the garbage at Olive Garden. Good night, Rodney. Good night, Dan. Good night, Brandon. Good night, Justine. Good night, Mark. I never did figure out what you were talking about. But, there's always tomorrow. But probably not Friday because Friday's too much going on. All right, guys. Peace out. Bye, Sherry. Buka is good. Dan, learn to cook. You'll realize why none of these things are good. I promise you.